It's been sitting in my garage for a couple years now. I haven't run it. I started it the other day and it was running only with the choke on full. So which kind of tells me it's probably a carb issue. Now it won't even run at all. So we're going to pull the carb out of this, take a look at it, and see what we need to do to get this thing running. All right, so we're on day 2. I'm working on this Kawasaki. I took all the jets out, the idle screw and everything, and that's been soaking in carb cleaner overnight, but it's gotten some stuff off, but not as much as I'd like. And if you look at the carburetor, the inside, you can see it's really gunked up. Varnish is, solid now. I've got some of it out, but you can see, that all this has to get out because eventually this is just going to come loose. And getting the jets, and you got some of these things that are clogged. So what the plan is this morning is I'm going to go down and pick up an ultrasonic cleaner, and I'm going to put the body and the jets and everything in an ultrasonic cleaner and see how well that works. I'm probably still going to have to buy a rebuild kit because I don't really think it's going to clean the jets all that well. But I'm hoping to get in some of these orifices here that are gunked up with some of this varnish, and hopefully that cleaner will get that out. Overall the carburetor looks pretty good, but this thing sat for a couple years and didn't get used, and that's what happens when there's fuel in the bowl and it sits for a couple years. It gets all this stuff in here, and like I said, that's eventually going to break free. Even if I put gas in it over time, that'll clean it out, but it's going to clog the jets if I do it. So we'll head down to Harbor Freight and pick up an ultrasonic cleaner down there. Okay, so while I'm on the way to go pick this ultrasonic cleaner up, thought I'd tell you a little bit about my truck. I've got a 2014 F-150 in really good shape, no rust on it, nothing wrong with the motor, transmission, but I was getting this noise out of the rear end. So I brought it to the mechanic. Noise isn't coming from the rear end. It turns out it's coming from the center bearing on the drive shaft. So he told me to bring it to a transmission shop that he recommended because he doesn't really do transmissions. So I bring it to them, and yeah, they verified it's the center bearing. So we got to get a new drive shaft because Ford, in their infinite wisdom, decided to make that center bearing unserviceable. So good job with Ford on that. More bad news is that drive shaft is back ordered and they have no delivery date available. So the only other alternative I have is to put that drive shaft back in and take a chance on driving it and it damages the end of the transmission. Then I'm looking at, a new transmission or have a new drive shaft made. So I chose to have a new drive shaft made. Okay, so here we are, Central Machinery ultrasonic cleaner, 2.5 liter. Says it cleans hardware, fasteners, small metal parts, jewelry, and more. 160 watts, 5 preset cycles, easy to read digital timer. Anything else special on there? So you can see they got some parts in here. 4, looks like it's all kind of almost oxidized and after. So let's get this out of the box and take a look at it. Okay, so here's the unit. You can see the carburetor doesn't all fit in there. So these are the fill lines right here. So you have the minimum amount of liquid and the maximum amount of liquid. So we're probably going to have to flip this over. So there's 5 cleaning cycles, 90, 180, 280, 380, and 480 seconds. So it says 180 seconds is the typical cleaning cycle. We're going to put it in there for 480. And what I got to clean it with is this Simply Green Pro 3 Plus, which is good for aluminum. It won't oxidize aluminum, turn it black, and everything like that. Has a heat function, which is TC, and then you have the on-off buttons like that. So let me get all the jets out of there, out of the solution, and then we'll put them in here. Okay, so I've got all the pieces out. So we're gonna kind of put this so it's like this. We might have to do this part twice because you can't get really the top. And then we're going to throw the bowl in there like that. The float, hopefully that won't sink because if it does, we see bubbles out of it. So no bubbles out of that, so that looks good. And there's a little tray down there. We're just going to drop all this stuff in. It is heating up right now, but I don't know if it's going to get hot enough for this cleaning cycle, and I think that's it. So we'll put the cover on this, and we'll do on. So there it goes, and we'll be back in probably like 5 minutes and see how it looks. Okay, so the first cycle is done. What did it actually heat up to? 80 degrees, which is not bad. We're probably going to run it through again, but let's take a look at this. Wow, that's a big improvement on what was in there. So we're going to run it through another cycle. Let's take a look at this one. And wow, it cleaned everything out in there. And it looks pretty good. Let me see if I can find one of the jets in here. The float was really bad. You can see it's nice and shiny now. We'll flip that over though. Let me stick my hand in here and see if I can find. It still didn't do that great of a job on the down tube there. I'll find something else. So we'll kind of clean that off. That wasn't that bad to begin with, but we'll put it in for another 480-second cycle and see what it does. So we got to do set. Oops. 480. And we want heat. Oh, heat is on. And then let it go again. So we'll let it go again, and we'll be back in 8 minutes. Okay, so that second cycle is done. We'll take that out. Is that really hot? Well, it's warm. It's not hot, but that came out really nice. That's the float, and that had a lot of gunk on it. So let's check out the bowl. And that really cleaned that out too. You saw the picture of it before. I'll put a picture side by side up here so you can see what it looked like. So it cleaned it up pretty nice. Let's take a look at this one. You can see the same thing. Hopefully it got into all the orifices in there and cleaned all that out. But I'll have to take this outside and clean this off with carb cleaner just to get all the simple green stuff off. So let me pull that tray out. We'll take a look at the jets and everything. All right, so you can see all the jets. It did clean them up really well. These were all gunked up. Here's the bar for the float, which was kind of binding in the float, so it cleaned that up nice. Overall, it looks like it did a really good job. Maybe I won't have to get a rebuild kit, but we'll know when we put it back together. You can see, I don't know if you can see the inside, but it's pretty clean in there. And hopefully it got all the orifices out of this. So we're going to take this outside and spray it down with some carb cleaner to get all that simple green stuff off, and then we'll put it back together. All right, finally I am done with this bike. It took me about 2 to 3 hours to clean that pilot jet out. And you can see the size of the wire, how thin that wire is that you have to get into that pilot jet just to try to clear it out. It was so severely blocked, it was like cement was in there. I ran it through the ultrasonic cleaner like 5 times. After I cleared it out with this, I ran it through this 2 more times. I let it soak in WD-40, I let it soak in carb cleaner. Soaking in the WD-40 and carb cleaner did nothing, and I let it soak, for a full day in those. But I had about at least an hour and a half trying to get that through there, and I finally did it. So let's take a look at the bike. So we got everything buttoned up. There's the gas on over here. Gas is on. So let's listen to it. Starts right up. Gonna adjust the idle a little bit in it, but running fine. Actually, it started with no choke. clear that out. Probably about a quarter of a tank in there right now with some sea foam. So that'll help clear everything else out, clear any kind of gunk off that simple green left in there that I couldn't get out. It'll go through the jets and everything like that. So just going to put all the plastic back on, and it's going to be ready for sale. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.